Alright guys, what's up? Back with some more Grey Knight / Orc stuff, even if you want to consider it. So I wanted to go over my play pattern, mentality, and a lot of different things of my Grey Knight list that I just won the RTT with. For those of you who know, I did just play Grey Knight at an RTT, the new stuff, and I was able to get first place playing Banishers. I had a nice little tournament run. So the list is going to be in the description. Honestly, I'm not going to really break it down too much, but I am going to show you how I use a lot of these units in a lot of practical situations. And this specific example, I'm going to be doing it against like a really high melee pressure army and orcs. And I'm going to show you sort of how I use a lot of these units to like keep the pressure on my opponent with primary and secondary denial, basically, while still playing the game myself. So I am going to show you deployment, like the turn one, and then I'm going to break down in detail how I use this unit right here. 10-man intercept unit. I think that this is currently the best unit in this book in the Banisher detachment for just what it allows you to do and the kind of pressure that it puts on your opponent. So I'm going to explain that in a lot of detail in this video, because if you're playing Banishers specifically, I think this unit is basically mandatory, literally the first thing you put in. And I'm going to show you all the different applications this unit can have on impacting basically primary over the course of the game. Alrighty, so I'm going to deploy real quick, and then I'm going to break down kind of my thought process on that. Alright, so this is how I deploy on layout 1 in almost like every scenario. Like obviously, like my opponent's army is a factor in like how I'm going to be deploying this stuff, but I really like this specific pattern. Like another option is to like put sorry, this actually goes here, the intercept unit like right here, so they can like go this way. But I really like them in this box, because then if my opponent commits anything crazy, they can fly to the middle or then go here, because we're going to be using this unit, this intercept unit, for a lot of primary denial and a lot of different things over the course of the game. So what I do, I like, since the new rules for Gated Infinity, I pretty much start everything on the table like every game. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't at this point, because they get to stay in deep strike as long as you want. So usually I put the paladins up top to go run up to here in case my opponent does something aggressive. I leave Crowe like right here on the table, so that way if my opponent like commit something randomly like to right here that's really strong, I'm going to be able to drop Crowe in almost most scenarios like right here and shoot it. And then lastly, like they can stay in deep strike the whole game, so like you can have like a deep rapid. And then I have a 5-man purifier in here, and then a 5-man interceptor in here, and a 5-man strike squad in here. The reason I do this is because I think the scout move is very valuable on a lot of these transports, and then I have a scout here as well. Because what's going to be able to happen is, if I go first, I'm able to scout. These things are never on. I gotta check this before the videos. The Scout 6 is like incredibly valuable for when you go first. It allows you to just go crazy with the tempo basically of the game. So this is going to move 6, right? Like to right here. Now what this thing is able to do is able to like run up and just be annoying as hell to our opponent, like via move blocking and things like that, and like shove the tempo of the game like a little bit back for them. And this one sort of does a similar thing. We just get to go 6 up. And now we can like even do something similar against this like Orch matchup, because we could just like move this 12, right? And then it gets in advance, and like you roll a 5 on your advance, all of a sudden you're like annoying really in his way, right? So you can do a lot of different things with your rhinos and razorbacks in this attachment, and using them early game, especially when you go first, is incredibly valuable for like tying up your opponent's stuff. So in this game though, I don't really want to showcase going first too much, just because the power of this intercept unit really comes from going second. However, if you guys did want to kind of see how I would use this unit going first, we're going to go first. We scout this Razorback to here with the strike squad in it. And then we are, in most scenarios, actually going to get the strike squad out and run it back to our home point, just because we want to get sticky there. And our only goal for that was to have the scout like get us up the table. So what we would do, we would get out, whatever, run up back to the home point, and this gets us to go like 12 inches like this. Now, I'm not going to roll in advance because I just want this thing to be really annoying and force our opponent to have to do like weird moving. Now, this just flies literally right here. Okay, you roll in advance. I don't care what you do. As long as this thing ends up right here, that is all I care about. Your goal of placing this unit here is to not get shot down this lane. Right? We don't really want that. you know, because we're pretty safe this way, and to get minimally shot coming this way. Now, obviously, your opponent might have like 2 different shooting platforms, etc., etc. But you'll find this unit is fine. Trust me. Okay. Now what this does is on their first turn, they get to do whatever they move stuff. Sure. 2 things get to happen here when this unit is placed in this spot. A few different things get to happen. Number 1, if they move so a lot of players, every player basically loves to shove a bunch of their stuff into here, right? Into their little L. In this scenario, they would like charge you, whatever. But here, this always will trigger miss if you choose to trigger it. And the same deal here, if they come and like catch like a strong angle with like a gun platform, you get also trigger miss, because remember, it's 9 inches, doesn't need line of sight. So you're like looking at 9 like all the way this way. And it's notable, like you're covering most of the point as well. Okay. And then this way, this side is the only way you can realistically get shot from. And obviously, we're going to have good like faction knowledge on what we're playing against to know if this is a play that we're going to commit to here. And frankly, if you're super scared of getting shot down this lane, you can stage this unit like right here as well. It's very good right there because it gets to cover stuff. Okay, so now when our opponent drives up this way, it gives the opportunity to mist. And for those of you who don't know, like if they go like this, whatever. Those of you who don't know, if you trigger miss on turn 1, you can still rapid ingress, which really can mess up like your opponent's plays, because now all of a sudden when they thought I was here, you get to pick it up and then rapid it like over here, and it can like go charge and do anything from basically this L. All right, so that's like a pretty simple use for it, and that's kind of what I do with them on turn 1 and like almost every single game I play. If you're really scared of them getting shot to death, you can just leave them right here. Frankly, they're still so good out of this spot because they just go 12 this way, and they get to go 12 this way with advantage in charge and banishers, so you get to contest your opponent's primary really well. Okay, so that's just like a quick like how I would play with this unit turn 1. But I'm going to break down going second in a lot more detail here on like just the value that this unit can give you. All right. All right, so as you can see here, our opponent did like a pretty standard like orc turn with their trucks. Like they stage up every single truck up to like get ready to call a wall next turn, right? So I don't want to make this like an orc specific matchup thing. We're just going to look at it from an OC perspective and how our opponent like wants to move their army next turn. So obviously, like step 1, this is going to go here and deny this, right? That's like easy. Paladins scoot up here where I always put them. Right, and then now Crowe's unit I would have off the table just because that's like what I do. Okay, the strike squad runs out of this Razorback and goes here, and now you have a few different ways you can go about this, but I want to just show you guys exactly why I love this unit so much. All right, so what it can do, it moves 12, right? So I go 12, and what we're doing with this move, guys, is we are gonna this unit is about to do so much for us that you are not going to believe, basically. And I'm going to explain, and then I'm going to explain the implications of what it's about to do very swiftly, like very quickly here. So it's going to fly here, this flies here, this flies here, this flies here. You do have to be 2 of 2 with this unit, which is fine. Okay, so we're going to be like right on the edge here. So we know we've got to cover 2 OC here and 4 OC here. All right, so how can we do that? With only a 12-inch move, right? We don't really want to charge these things because we don't want to be in combat with this unit. So all we need to do, we just need to shoot some storm bolters. Boom, 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 boom. Shoot storm bolters. So it doesn't matter what we shoot at. We can shoot here. We can shoot here. Whatever. We shoot some storm bolters. Now we get to fire and fade 6. And this is where things get so cool for this unit. Okay. So all we got to do is tie there, right? So there's 6. All right, so there we go. Boom. We've now contested this objective, so he's now scoring primary there. Okay. Now here, this needs to just stretch all the way here. We have like so much more movement in this, by the way. Okay. So this is a legal place for this whole unit. So what this one single unit has just done is it has denied primary for both of these expansions on this turn. Okay. And now what your opponent has to choose now on their turn. They can't move a single thing essentially onto these primary objectives without triggering mists of Deimos. All right. And at this point, we would, by the time we come back to their turn, we would have 3 or 4 CP, right? And we've essentially committed nothing on this turn. We have a Rhino that's exposed, and this unit, which is essentially invincible unless he rams all these trucks into it, which is like not ideal because you can't disembark and without triggering miss here because the vehicle's like, if the vehicle stays stationary, it can't move without triggering miss. So let's like look at from an orc player's perspective, right? What are his options? Number one, obviously, like he can just call the wall here, right? But if he calls the wall, that is going to kill. It's going to kill essentially nothing. It's going to kill this Razorback, this Rhino, maybe these Paladins, and then like what? Then what? You know what I'm saying? Now, but what really is more important is if he moves anything within 9 inches of this unit. Which keep in mind, this unit is taking up like almost all, like over half the table. This unit, if he steps foot anywhere within 9 inches of this unit, they get to go. They get to go up, right? And they're also essentially move blocking him right now, right? So we know we can just he moves us the thing that threatens us. Boom, we pick it up. Okay, he goes about the rest of his turn, does etc. etc. I'm not going to move all these orc models all over the table. But let's say he does end up like calling the wall or running up trucks or whatever. You then just get to rapid this unit back in like somewhere like right here or like behind him or over here and essentially just do it again. And like literally just drive out and like deny primary again. Now against this like orc sort of matchup is maybe isn't as cool. I'll show a different example where like your opponent plays really like not aggressive. And like how you can really use this unit to drive your opponent crazy. So let's scoot back a teeny bit. All right, so what I have here is an example of a far less committal turn from the orc player, right? He put like some Stormboys on the middle and some Gretchen on his expansion, and that's it. And this is another scenario where this unit like really shines because what you do is essentially we're going to make sure we clear off both of these points. With a very similar move that we did last time, right? We go here, boom, boom, boom. We're going to use the rest of our army for a little bit of help. But for the most part, your 12-inch move, like you get to like blow out these Gretchen here. Like I probably slide this Razorback up, put the strikes on the home as usual. And this guy will slide right here. Just for some more like fire support for this, but we don't need any other real help in this like scenario, right? Because what all we need to do here is kill all the Stormboys here and kill all the Gretchen here. And between all the Razorbacks and Stormbolters and things that we have access to, it's super realistic that we do kill all of these things. If we wanted to be super worried about it, the 5-man interceptor unit that is in this Razorback is able to essentially get to here always with the 15-inch move. So now we've got this shooting it, this shooting it, this shooting it there, and then this is going to shoot all the Gretchen, and we would just tap this here just in case, right? Things go poorly. Alrighty, so let's just say we do kill all this stuff. It's like pretty realistic that we kill most of it. Like even if like 1 or 2 of these Gretchen lives, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to say I killed them all because I'm good at this game. And then we get to like do our fire and fade shenanigans. Now, actually, a fun fact, this gets to fire and fade back into the vehicle because it's broken. And now this unit doesn't even need to be on the middle objective. It doesn't even have to stand there. What it does have to do is cover 9 inches of it. So what we're doing is we're making sure that this one dude is, if our opponent sets foot on this primary or this primary, this unit gets to miss rapid. Okay, so let's just like look at the play pattern for the orcs. Again, if they call the wall here, nothing happens. They just bounce off. They kill transports and die is really what happens. So let's just say the orc player, we pass the orc player and he has 2 options. Number one, he can't play primary at all, right? And then he gets out his stuff like far away and tries to bang a 9-inch charge and kill me, which is not, he could just simply fail, right? Which is super bad for him. And then I just get like a ton of primary, right? Option 2, if he touches primary with any vehicle he has, literally any model that he possesses decides that it's time that he has to go play primary, I just get to pick up my whole unit again. And guess what? let's say he's like trying to, you know, stage a little bit more for his Wa turn, right? He's like, oh, okay, here we go. I'm just shove up in your face because you're not killing me, right? Again, this is probably not what the Orc player would do. I'm just showing you guys like if your opponent doesn't put the pressure on you with this unit in play, they just can't do anything to stop you from denying their primary forever. So that's turn 2. They've got a 5, right? Turn 2, they got a 5. And keep in mind, if they had just like got out and tried to bang charges and failed them, they literally aren't scoring primary till turn 4, like in No Man's Land ever. So let's just say they do this, right? So whatever. Now like I can go kill him with army, but I'm just gonna this unit gets to rapid back right here, right? And literally go fly 12 again. I mean, remember, this unit gets to go 18, essentially, because they get to fire in Fate 6. So we go here like this. Now we need to get 4 OC over here and 2 OC here. All we do, literally fire our trash storm bolters. We go boom, boom. This position's all the way along here. And then we go boom. And then be aggressive. Shove up the shit. Shove your guys up. This unit is a master class in denying primary in like every possible scenario. So now this guy is like shoved all the way up. You could even have a freaking guy like right here with this type of fire and fade, right? It doesn't matter because we're telling our opponent that if you play the game, this unit gets to leave the board for free. So I hope I'm not rambling too much. I just like love this unit. I love this unit so much. So now our opponent if our opponent gets out of these transports, it gets to miss again. It gets to leave the table. So now this one unit has not only lost 0 models over the course of 3 turns, it has also denied our opponent primary every single turn of the game until he does something like weirdly like unlucky to catch it. Now, he could also just charge it with trucks and like not get out, right? He could just like ram trucks into it, which probably is like a good solution. But now like you're just ramming trucks into my interceptors, like who cares? Now I'm like set up to like come out and kill you as well, right? I'm not saying there's no counterplay. I don't want you guys to think that I'm sure there's a lot of people watching like, oh, if you just do this, like like, sure, there is ways to like beat this. So again, I'm not saying that this is like an unbeatable strategy or anything like that. I just really wanted to show you like the impact this 10-man can have over the course of a game. And it also hits really, really hard. Like it's 30 attacks and 622 with sustain and / lethal most of the time. And it's like weirdly durable against damage 1 because this attachment has access to a Feel No Pain on a 5-up against damage 1. So like this unit just can like take a lot of hits as well. And they just have a 2-up armor save. So they're freaking awesome. So this is going to be like a video where I showcase the army, but it turned into like a little bit longer explanation of how I use intercepting in it. So I'm going to leave it here, post this up, and then I'm going to make another video talking about how my list plays. So hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a ton more ways to use this unit. Don't just throw it at your opponent like an imbecile. Like missed rapid with this unit is enough to solo games. So just really be on the lookout for those type of things. Shove it in their face and tell them if they move their army, you get to leave the table. So that's really it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.